Hello everyone, today I'm going to present about tax treaty Indonesia and Vietnam. Effective date 1st January 2000. Article 26 PPh rates for effectively applicable P3B as in this table. And time test of the effectively P3B are permanent form of enterprises as in table. Tax cover. This agreement shall apply to tax on income imposed on behalf of a contracting state or of its political subdivisions or local authorities, irrespective of the manner in which they are levied. There shall be regard as tax on income all tax imposed on total income or on elements of income including tax on gains from the alienation of movable or immovable property and tax on the total amount of wages or salaries paid by enterprises. 3. The existing tax to which the agreement shall apply are point I. In Indonesia, the income tax imposed under the Income Tax Law 1984, Law Number 7 of 1983, as amended, hereinafter referred to as Indonesian tax. Point B. In Vietnam, the personal income tax, the profit tax, and the profit remittance tax, hereinafter referred to as Vietnam's tax. 4. The agreement shall also apply to any initial or substantially similar tax which are imposed after the date of signature of this agreement in addition to or in place of the existing tax. The competent authorities of contracting states shall notify each other of any substantial change which have been made in their respective taxation laws. Resident. 1. For the purposes of this agreement, the term resident of contracting state means any person who, under the laws of the state, is liable to tax therein by reason of his domicile, residence, place of amusement, or any other criterion of similar nature. But this term does not include any person who is liable to tax in that state in respect only of income from sources in that state or capital situated therein. Where by reason of the provisions of paragraph 1, an individual is resident of both contracting states, then his status shall be determined as follows. 1a. He shall be deemed to be a resident of the state in which he has a permanent home available to him. If he has a permanent home available to him in both states, he shall be deemed to be a resident of the state with which his personal and economic relations are closer. When B, if the state in which he has his center of vital interest cannot be determined, or if he does not have a permanent home available to him in either state, he shall be deemed to be a resident of the state in which he has an habitual abode. Point C. If he has an habitual abode in both states or in neither of them, he shall be deemed to be a resident of the state of which he has national. If he is national of both states or neither of them, the competent authorities of the contracting state shall settle the question by mutual agreement. 4. Where by reason of the provision of paragraph 1 and a person other than an individual is a resident of both contracting states, then it shall be deemed to be resident the state in which its place of effective management is situated. permanent establishment. 1. For the purposes of this agreement, the term permanent establishment means fixed place of business through which the business of the enterprise is wholly or partly carried on. The term permanent establishment includes especially a place of management, a branch, an office, a factory, a workshop, a warehouse, or premises used as a sales outlet, a farm or plantation, a mine, an oil or gas well, a quarry, or any other place of extraction or exploration of natural resources. Drilling rig or working ship or installation structure or equipment used for the exploration or exploitation of natural resources. The term permanent establishment likewise encompasses a building site, construction, assembly, or installation project of supervisory activities in connection therewith, but only where such site project activities continue for a period of more than 6 months. The furnishing of service, including consultancy service, by an enterprise through employees or other personnel engaged by the enterprise for such purpose, but only where activities of that nature continue for the same or connect project within the country for a period or periods exceeding more than 3 months within any 12 months period. Notwithstanding the preceding provisions of this article, the term permanent establishment shall be deemed not to include. Point A. The use of facilities solely for the purposes of the storage or display of goods or merchandise belonging to the enterprise. Point B. The maintenance of a stock of goods or merchandise belonging to the enterprise solely for the purpose of storage or display. Point C. Maintenance of the stock of goods or merchandise belonging to the enterprise solely for the purpose of processing by another enterprise. The maintenance of a fixed place of business solely for the purpose of purchasing goods or merchandise or of collecting information for the enterprise. The maintenance of a fixed place of business solely for the purpose of advertising for the supply of information. The maintenance of a fixed place of business solely for the purpose of carrying on for the enterprise any other activity of a preparatory or auxiliary character. The maintenance of a fixed place of business solely for any combination of activities mentioned in subparagraph A to F, provided that only overall activity of the fixed place of business resulting from this combination is of a preparatory or auxiliary character. 5. Notwithstanding the provision of paragraph 1 and 2, where a person other than agent of an independent status to whom paragraph 7 applies is acting in contracting state on behalf of an enterprise of the other contracting state, the enterprise shall be deemed to have a permanent establishment, the first mentioned contracting state in respect of any activities which the person undertakes for the enterprise, if such a person. Point A. His has and habitually exercises in the state an authority to negotiate and conclude contracts in the name of the enterprise unless the activities such a person are limited to those mentioned in paragraph 4, which, if exercises through a fixed place of a business, would not make this fixed place of business a permanent establishment under the provision of that paragraph. As no such authority but habitually maintain the first mentioned state a stock of goods or merchandise, from which he regularly delivers goods or merchandise on behalf of the enterprise, manufactures, or process in the state for the enterprise goods or merchandise belonging to the enterprise. An insurance enterprise of a contracting state shall, except in regard to reinsurance, be deemed to have a permanent establishment in the other contracting state if it collects premiums to the territory of that other states or insures risk situated therein through an employee or through a representative who is not an agent of independent status within the meaning of paragraph 7. An enterprise shall not be deemed to have a permanent establishment in contracting state merely because it carries on business in that state through a broker, general commission agent, or any other agent of an independent status, provided that such persons are acting in the ordinary course of their business. However, when the activities of just such an agent are devoted wholly or almost wholly on behalf of the enterprise, he will not be considered an agent of an independent status within the meaning of this paragraph. The fact of company which is a resident of contracting state control or is controlled by a company which is a resident of the other contracting state or which carries on business in the in that other state, whether through a permanent establishment or otherwise, shall not of itself constitute either company a permanent establishment of the other. Dividends. When dividends paid by a company which is a resident of contracting state to a resident of the other contracting state may be taxed in that other state. 2. However, such dividends may also be taxed in the contracting state of which the company paying dividends is a resident and according to the laws of the state. But if the recipient is the beneficial owner of the dividends, the tax so charged shall not exceed 15% of the gross amount of the dividends. This paragraph shall not affect the taxation of the company in respect of the profits out of which the dividends are paid. The term dividends as, as used in this article means income from shares or other rights, not being debt claims, participating in profits, as well as income from other corporate right which is subject to the same taxation treatment as income from shares by the laws of the state of which the company making distribution is a resident. 4. Where a company which is resident of contracting state derives profits or income from the other contracting state, the other state may not impose any tax on dividends paid by the company, except insofar as such dividends are paid to residents of that other contracting state or insofar as the holding in respect of which the dividends are paid is effectively not connected with a permanent establishment or fixed base situated in that other state, not subject the company's undistributed profits to tax on the company's undistributed profits, even if the dividends paid for or the undistributed profits consist wholly or partly of profits or income arising in such other state. 5. Notwithstanding any other provision of this agreement where a company which is a resident of contracting state has a permanent establishment in the other contracting state, the profit of the permanent establishment may be subject to an additional tax in the other state in accordance with this law. But the additional tax surcharge shall not exceed 10% of the amount of such profit after deducting therefrom income tax on and other tax on income imposed thereon in that other state. 6. The rate of tax in paragraph 2 and paragraph 5 of the article shall not affect the rate of tax applied in any production sharing contracts or any other similar contracts relating to the oil and gas sector or other mining sector concluded by government of a contracting state, its instrumentality, its relevant state oil and gas company or any other entity thereof with a person who is a resident of the other contracting state. 7. Where a company which is a resident of contracting state derives profits or income from the other contracting state, that other state may not impose any tax on dividends paid by the company, except insofar as such dividends are paid to the resident of that other contracting state, or insofar as the holding in respect of which the dividends are paid is effectively connected with a permanent establishment or fixed base situated in that other state, not subject of not subject the company's undistributed profits to a tax on companies' undistributed profits, even if the dividends paid or the undistributed profits consist wholly or partly of profits or income arising such other state. Interest. 1. Interest arising in a contracting state and paid to a resident of the other contracting state may be taxed in the other state. 2. However, such interest may also be taxed in the contracting state in which it arises, and according to the laws of that state, but if the recipient is a beneficial owner of the interest, the tax charge shall not exceed 15% of the gross amount of the interest. The competent authorities of the contracting state shall by mutual agreement settle the mode of application of this limitation. 3. Notwithstanding the provisions of paragraph 2, interest arising in contracting state and derived by the government of the other contracting state, including local authorities thereof, a political subdivision, the central bank, or any financial institution controlled by the government, the capital of which is wholly owned by the government of the other contracting state, as might be agreed upon from time to time between the competent authorities of the contracting state, shall be exempt from tax in the first mentioned state. 4. The term is interest as used in this article means income from debt claims of every kind, whether or not secured by mortgage, and whether or not carrying a right to participate in the debtor's profits, and in particular, income from government securities and income from bonds or debentures, including premiums and prices attaching to such securities, bonds or debentures, as well as income assimilate to income from money lent under the taxation law of the state in which the income arises, including interest on deferred payment sales. Penalty charged for the late payment shall not be regarded as interest for the purpose of this article. 5. The provisions of paragraph 1 and 2 shall not apply if the beneficial owner of the interest, being a resident of a contracting state, carries on business in the other contracting state in which the interest arises through a permanent establishment situated therein, or performed in that other state independent personal service from a fixed base situated therein, and debt claimant respect of which the interest is paid is effectively connected with such permanent establishment for fixed base, or with B. business activities referred to under C of paragraph 1 of Article 7. In such case, the provisions of Article 7 or Article 14, as the case may be, shall apply. Interest shall be deemed to arise in contracting state when the payer is the state itself, a political subdivision, a local authority, a resident of the state, where, however, the person paying the interest, whether he is a resident of contracting state or not, he has in a contracting state a permanent establishment or fixed base in connection with which the indebtedness on which the interest is paid was incurred, and such interest is borne by such permanent establishment or fixed base, then such interest shall be deemed to arise and state in which the permanent establishment or fixed base is situated, where by reason of a special relationship between the payer and the beneficial owner of between or between both of them and some other person, the amount of the interest having regard to the debt claim for which is paid, except the amount which would have been agreed upon by the payer and the beneficial owner in the absence of such relationship. The provision of this article shall apply only to be the last mentioned amount. In such case, the excess part of the payment shall remain taxable according to the laws of each contracting state, due regard to being had to the other provision of this agreement. Royalties. Royalties arising in contracting state and paid to a resident of the other contracting state may be taxed in that other contracting state. However, such royalties may also be taxed in the contracting state in which they arise. and according to the laws of the state, but if the recipient is the beneficial owner of the royalties, the tax charged shall not exceed 15% of the gross amount of such royalties. The competent authorities of the contracting states shall by mutual agreement settle the mode of application of this limitation. 3. The term royalties used in this article means payments, whether periodical or not, and when whatever form or name or nomenclature to the extent to which they are made as consideration for the use of or the right to use any copyright, patent, design or model, plan, secret formula or process, trademark, or other like property or right, or the use of or right or the right to use any industrial, commercial, and scientific equipment or the supply of scientific, technical, industrial, or commercial knowledge or information. The supply of any assistance that is ancillary and subsidiary to any such property or right as is mentioned in subparagraph A. Any such equipment as in mentioned in subparagraph B or any such knowledge or information as is mentioned in subparagraph C, or the use of or the right to use motion picture films or video for use in connection with television, tapes for use in connection with radio broadcasting, or total or partial for brands in respect of the use or supply of any property or right referred to in this paragraph. The provisions of paragraph 1 and 2 shall not apply if the beneficial owner of the royalties being resident of contracting state carries on business in the other contracting state in which the royalties arise through a permanent establishment situated therein or performs in that other state independent personal service from a fixed base situated therein, and the right or property in respect of which the royalties are paid is effectively connected with such permanent establishment or fixed base or with business activities referred to under of paragraph 1 of Article 7. In such case, provision of Article 7 or Article 14 as the case may be shall apply. Royalty shall be deemed to arise in contracting state when the payer is the state itself, a political subdivision, or a local authority, or a resident of the state, where, however, the person paying the royalties, whether he is a resident of contracting state or not, has in contracting state a permanent establishment or fixed base in connection with which the liability to pay the royalties when incurred, and such royalties are borne by such permanent establishment or fixed base, then such royalties shall be deemed to arise in the state in which the permanent establishment or fixed base is situated. 6. Where, by reason of a special relationship between the payer and the beneficial owner, or between both of them and some other person, the amount of the royalties having regard to the use, right, or information for which they are paid exceeds the amount which would have been agreed upon by the payer and the beneficial owner in the absence of such relationship, the provision of the article shall apply only to the last mentioned amount. In such case, the excess part of the payment shall remain taxable according to the laws of each contracting state do regard being hot to the other provision of this agreement. Thank you.